Atlanta entrepreneur Bruce LeVell was one of the original supporters to join the Trump campaign back in 2015 and is now a founder of the Trump campaign's Diversity Coalition. He sat down with One America's Hines.
Thank you for joining us. I just wanted to ask you, with all of this impeachment, how is the president with all of this right now?
Well, I can say he's very confident. Obviously, look at our numbers and look at his supporters. I think this is it's unfortunate that we're going down this path, but it has helped us in terms of rejuvenate other folks that lift us up even more, that want to support the president.
What do you know about the numbers with the president, his re-election efforts? How are his numbers holding up or not holding up?
Well, I can tell you this: has the highest rating of any Republican president in the history, which is great. Also, you saw the latest; we're above 50+%, which is great. The other thing too, and this is something that I've really is obviously dear to me, is the minority vote, African American vote, Hispanic vote. There's a huge increase in the Hispanic vote, 28+% that we've had in previous election. But more so, the diamond in the rough is the African American vote. And the reason why I say that is because just in terms of how the president has been leading in terms of prison reform, in terms of the Clinton crime bill in '94 that totally disenfranchised so many African Americans in the country, where he just went in there and was a game changer. We even had other folks on the left, like Van Jones, even had to come out and said, I hate to say this, but I have to say that this President Trump, is the leader in prison reform, and he realizes how disconnected this has been in the African American community. As the president when he came to Atlanta, November 9th, had this huge coalition, over thousands that showed up. And one of the things is he had black business owners next to him and saying, hey, this is a time to build your business, this administration, to build back your generational wealth. Watch this, John. The generational wealth that has been totally decimated in the black community.
What are his numbers like within the African American community at this juncture, would you say?
Well, I'll say this, though. We got almost 9%, in the last election. And in some counties and states, it was as high as 20%, depending on what county you were at. I say we're going to be in double. Yes, correct. I say we're going to double that, John. And simply the fact, what I said earlier in the interview, it's
double that.
Yeah. It's just the opportunity. It's just the promises made, promises kept. And I think to have that in your presidency, the lowest African American unemployment since 1972, John, and that's when they started recording. So it could have gone back as far as the 60s and the 50s.
But now talk about the impact that impeachment may have on support in the African American communities. Is this something that African Americans are talking about at all?
Great question. I get this often a lot. People ask, as well as my other business colleagues, especially the minority business colleagues, is that they ain't trying to hear that. I'll just use in that type of slang. They ain't trying to hear it. It's I know in certain parts of the country, or a lot of parts of the country, and you're really starting to see and resurrect new black business owners in this administration, unlike you've never seen before.
Are they talking about impeachment?
No, they're too busy, happy the fact that they can get up out of their homes and go to a job. John?
Is the Democratic message of Ukraine, is that sinking in with African American business owners?
Black folk don't know nothing about Ukraine. They do know that there's jobs, there's opportunities, and there's great opportunities to grow business and build their business, John. And they're not thinking about 2,000 miles away, So I think it's just an inconvenience, a little bump in the road right now for the president. It's kind of a blessing and a curse in a way, but I see it more as a blessing. And the blessing is the fact that it's even regenerating and putting more adrenaline in the base and the supporters of the president itself is actually going to, even the ones that weren't so much with him, it's like, what? This doesn't sound right.
Well, Bruce LeVell, thank you for talking to One American News. It's a pleasure.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.